This is the Windy City Knots tutorial for how to whip the ends of your ropes. Whipping the ends of your ropes means that we take the untreated and unconditioned ropes that have knots here on the ends. This is the way they come from the supplier. And we tie little tiny bands of thread, white, in this case, white thread around the very ends. And this means that we don't have those knots to deal with, and it keeps our ropes from getting frayed as we tie with them and come undone. I got these brand new ropes from Damn Good Rope Company just in the mail recently, and they are unconditioned and unwhipped, which means that the ends have these knots in here, which are kind of annoying to tie with. So we're gonna whip them, and the finished result is gonna look like this. This is what the finished whipped rope looks like. This is a red rope with a white thread. So first step is we're going to need to thread our needle. First I need a needle here. I got an extra needle there. And that looks like a good needle. I'm gonna need about 2.5 to 3 feet of thread. So that's about 2-3 feet. Okay, we're gonna cut that nice and sharp. We want that cut to be sharp. Oops, sorry, we want that cut to be sharp here so that we can thread the needle, thread the yarn into the needle. I like to just get it a little wet with my tongue. And they say to bring the thread to the needle, not the needle to the thread. Oh, it does require that you have very good eyesight. There we go. And we make it even on the other side. So here we're gonna, now that we have the thread here, we're gonna make it even on this side so that the two sides of the threads line up with each other. Okay. As you can see, they line up there. And I'm gonna tie a simple knot here. Now, this threaded needle, normally in bondage, we talk about the running end and the bite end, but in this case, I'm gonna refer to this end that I'm tying the knot. Whoops. Let's try that again. There we go. Whoops. There we go. Okay. So I'm going to refer to this as the tail end, the one with the knot here, and the needle end. Okay. So we have the needle end and the tail end. Thing. So here we have the end of the rope that has the piece on it. I'm just going to cut that piece off because I actually don't like to untangle it because I want that winds up making it even more frayed. And here's the ends. We're gonna make this whip approximately 1/2 of 1 inch down the end of the rope. I like to twist it in here. To do this, we're gonna take this tail of the thread. We're gonna place it about 3/4 of an inch down. And just note where it is. You see it's right there where my thumb is. So I'm gonna hold it right where my thumb is, about 3/4 of an inch down. Then we're gonna make a loop with this thread, and we're gonna hold the other side of the loop also with my thumb. So it takes a little practice. There we go. So I'm now holding both sides with my thumb, and there's a loop. It's a doubled loop, but there you go. See the loop? If I take my thumb away, look, it's just held there in place. That's why I need to hold it with my thumb. So I'm gonna hold it with my thumb, both sides. The loop stays in place. That loop is gonna be important, so we've gotta keep it in place. Now, we're going to simply wrap around up the rope, probably around 10-15 times. And we're going to go just slightly above the previous wrap so that we're creating a little cuff round and around and around so that it gets a little bit wider each time. It's only going to be about maybe even less than 1/4 inch, just a couple millimeters. My loop has gotten a little funky, so I'm just going to fix it here. Be careful not to get it mixed up with the tassels. You can use this needle to keep it. There you go. Okay. Now when we're done, when we've made the cuff here, we're going to pass the needle through the loop. Oops, carefully. We're going to pass the needle through the loop. This loop's a little funky. Ideally, the loop would be a little bit less funky, but this one works. So I'm going to pass it through the loop, and then I'm going to push it through the rope as well as through the loop. Takes a little practice. So through the loop and through to the other side of the rope itself, right? And then we're, at the same time, I'm going to pull the original tail of the thread, which is attached, by the way, to the loop. So as I pull the thread, it pulls in one thing and pulls in the other thing. So the loop now is caught on the way that I want it to be caught. So here we have this thread coming out the other side. I'm actually going to use the groove of the rope. See how the rope has a groove here? And I'm going to use the groove, and I'm going to just finish it off by passing it under the cuff maybe 4 or 5 times, under this whip cuff thing 4 or 5 times. When you do this, be careful not to get these red tassels caught up, because as you can see, I'll sort of do it the wrong way now. If I get the red tassels, if I get just one red tassel in there, it can mess the whole thing up. Like if I were to pull the red tassel like that by accident, right? So I want to make sure we don't get caught up in those red tassels. Do it 3 or 4 times. You're just finishing this off here. And then we do 1, 2, let's do it once more. Okay, and that's basically it. And then we just have these little bits to trim. So we have our sewing trimmer. Got a little loop there. I don't know why I have a loop. It's not supposed to be a loop. There we go. So it pulls in, and then there we go. This has a few extra little hairs, or shall we say threads. We'll cut those off. And there you have it. That's how to whip the ends of your rope.